Hello everybody, I'm Avitross, and well, I don't know why I'm introducing myself like that. That ain't a relevant thing anymore. Doesn't matter. Today, finally, it only took like 6 days after everybody said they wanted this, but I'm finally recording, or at least re-recording, this analysis, or just my initial thoughts on all of the Loomians in Loomian Legacy, and their what I believe their PvP potential is, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. But this is gonna be a lengthy video. May or may not split into parts because it's gonna be lengthy. I said that already. Anyway, I'm just going over my thoughts on each of the fully evolved Loomians. I'm not counting Geklo because it's not fully evolved, so don't ask for Geklo. Anyway, I'm just gonna go in Lumipedia order. So we're just gonna kick right off with Searnight. Alright, Searnight was an interesting one. When he was initially revealed, or like when we first saw him, I was like, fire metal, it ain't that great. I initially, like first impression, like as soon as I saw him, I was like, yeah, he's probably not gonna be all that great, but after just digging into his moveset and stuff just for a little bit, I realized, oh wow, this boy is pretty darn good. He's got 3 weaknesses, which is it's alright. It's not too many, but quad weak to earth, and metal being weak to electric sucks. So that hit hurts him, but he resists 6 types, which is pretty cool. Ice and Ancient are 2 nice resistances to have, and not being weak to fighting like in Pokemon is kind of great. I don't know, I just started hiccuping when the camera turned on, so that's fun. So typing wise, he's pretty darn good. Metal got harshly nerfed in terms of defense. It had 10 resistances and an immunity in Pokemon, and now we have what, 5 resistances and no immunity. But most of the types were like that, and that'll become a relevant point later. But anyway, stats wise, he's alright. Nothing crazy. 102 attack is alright. Nothing. 125 defense though is pretty nice. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave out the hidden abilities for the starters, mainly because although Lando said in Jamie's stream at one point that you could get the hidden abilities for starters, I have yet to see a single one. I have not seen a single screenshot of a hidden ability starter, so I'm just going to leave that out. Although I might need to adjust the calcs because I have them on by default. Anyway, his 2 big moves, Searing Steel is really freaking good. Being able to, ignoring water resistance is key, especially since Luminami is also part light type, which makes it weak to this, which provides a fun fact that you can lose to Searnight as Luminami. Like, you cannot switch in. You're going to eat over half, and that's even with a defensive thing. Although fully defensive, like if you were 200 now, you're not actually going to take over half, but if he gets any more than a mineral after Icicle Trap, like the green on this calc means it's 3-hit KO, or it's not guaranteed to be a 2-hit KO. If this were to do a 1 point more damage, it would be a guaranteed 3-hit KO, or a guaranteed 2-hit KO. See, watch, I changed this down to 409, and that changes to orange, which means 2-hit KO. So that means the only way Luminami, even a fully defensive one, lives is if Searnight scores 2 minerals, absolute minerals. By the way, I made this calc. That's fun. It's not public yet. It should be public before PvP releases, so I'll have a video out on how to use it and everything when that happens. But anyway, that's not the point. So Searnight, being a fire type, being able to beat this water type behemoth is great. He's also a hard stop to Tataab, who is a big threat. being one of the few things to actually be able to like solidly kill Hamber. Yeah, he just straight dies, and jungle jutsu does about a third, which is pretty cool. And that's with just leftover HP investment. That's not even put the 0 defense. Fun. So if we wanted to, I could use his hit ability and just, you know, now it does even less, but we're like I said, we're leaving that out. I don't know why this is set to +1 though. What the heck happened here? Yeah. So Searnight's good in the fact that it takes down Luminami, Tataab. It puts a huge dent in Hamber. Like if it's not like a fully defensive Hamber, like this. Wait for it to load. Unfortunately, since it's Google spreadsheets, I can only make this load so quickly. Yeah. This is fully defensive, and it does almost half, but if it were something like this, suddenly that damage is creeping up there. I saw someone have this set on their Hamber, so I'm just like, yeah, that's not really safe, because a good portion of the time, it's about 75% chance to 2-hit KO. Actually, no, more like 50 because of rolls. Yeah, about half the time you'll be able to 2-hit KO on the Switch, so most Timbers should be running something like that. So Searnight, so this 2-hit KO probability goes way down, and you can just, you know, destroy their lives. Anyway, so he doesn't reliably beat Hamber, but after a little bit of chip, he does get the job done. He also, what about Luxor? Luxor's a big one. Searnight's just good because his general matchup with everything is pretty darn good. Okay, yeah, Luxor not so much, but he still Okos it. That's fun. Yeah, my opinions on Searnight, not quite like S tier, but high A tier. That's where I'd put him. That's where I'd put him on my pre-PvP viability tier list. So we're just gonna move on from that. I believe that worked. Yes, it did. So we're just, yep, here we go. Luminami. Pardon me while I just load up the calc over on this end. Anyway, so water light type by far the best typing in the game. Nothing that resists light is super effective to light, so that's already stupid. So but being part water, you know, he has 5 resistances, which is nice. 4 weaknesses is pretty big, but Toxic's irrelevant right now, at least. And the only relevant plant is Tataab, so just have something to check for Tataab and you're good to go. Zulong, oof, have fun with him. And Umbrat can be annoying, but overall Luminami I feel is really, really good. If it were to get its hidden ability, it would be super top tier because it'll never die, but I haven't seen any hidden ability starters, so his stats are decent, nothing noteworthy. You know, he's well-rounded with good HP. But what's really good about him is this bonkers move right here, Soft Water. It heals 1/5 of your health every turn for 5 turns. 1/5. Leftovers in Pokemon healed 1/16. Most healing at most capped out at 1/8. And that's with, well, what gave 1/8? No, all the healing items and moves like that directly healed over time were 1/16. Leaf Seed sapped 1/8 of the opponent's health, but this heals 1/5 of your HP every turn, and he has a high base HP stat, so that's actually a lot of health per turn. And then combine that with the fact that Flash Pulse and Maroon both restore energy. In Maroon's case, it drains energy, And Luminami is a crazy sustain. Like, it won't have to rest or wait very often because these two moves will constantly provide him that energy. And then just top on the moveset with dodge, and you can just stall a turn and get an extra 20% HP back. Ooh boy. If it had its hidden ability, fun fact, it could actually take a hit from a hidden ability Zulong and get back to full within 3 turns. So that's fun. Anyway, let's just get to the calcs. So I have Luxor here, but Luxor, fun fact, has the highest neutral damage for a ranged attacker in the game. And well, Luminami resists it, so it does absolutely nothing. So that's a hard Luxor answer. What else? It's the same situation as Searnight. Like, these two have a relationship in which, oh wait, I forgot, no hidden ability yet. These two have a relationship in which they cannot switch in on each other. If you want, you can put a little bit of this HP into. How much do you need? Okay, apparently a little more than I thought. 20, 32, 28. We're just going down. Okay, so 28 special attack, and you guarantee 2-hit KO this set. It would be if they run full speed, full attack, then it would be a little bit less. But you see here, yeah, that's all it really needs to guarantee that 2-hit KO after Icicle Trap. But you need like 2 minerals not to kill it. So they can't switch in on each other, so they kind of answer each other. Luminami actually doing a job as a water type, imagine. It also one of the few that reliably beats Hamber. Although it's not like, it's nothing like quick. It's a slugfest. It's going to take a little bit of damage in the process, but it has soft water, so it's going to take But it beats Hamber. I believe Duskit can't really touch it because it's immune to Spirit. Yeah, and Brainwash does absolutely nothing. So yeah, it can answer Duskit too. Something that it does not answer or does not appreciate, and it's something you should look out for definitely, is Umbrat. Oh boy. What am I missing here? Why is it only doing that much now? I thought it did more than that. Hang on. Picking stuff. No, that's right. Did I have this at +1 before? Huh. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Actually, no, never mind. That was right. I had it at +1 before. I had it one-shotting at one point, but I guess I had it at +1. But it can come in Gloomfang to seal, Flash Pulse, and then Raging Tackle for the KO. These two will cause a KO on Luminami. So you gotta watch out for Umbrat. Of course, this boy, what I think is like the #1 right now. This is fully special. Oh wait, that's, of course, there we go. Awakening. That's fully specially defensive to. Oh well, I guess not fully, but it still does over half. So, oh, I'm sorry, 100. There we go. It cannot. It hates Zulong. Zulong is its worst enemy. Oh, actually, no, not really, because it can actually hit Zulong. Tataab. So Zulong, Umbrat, and Tataab are the like 3 that Luminami will not like whatsoever. Then yeah, there you go. But other than that, Luminami just kind of stops everything else. Like Vesperatu hates it, but Vesperatu sucks anyway. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Vesperatu. The bugs are a joke. Avitross. Actually, I haven't checked Avitross. How does Avitross fare? This is a learning process for both me and you. Oh yeah, it can stop Avitross, so that's that. Anyway, Luminami really good. I'd put it like equal with Searnight, like high A tier, top A tier. Like they occupy the #1 spot together. And yeah, that's that. So let's just switch our gears over to Tataab. The only relevant plant type right now. The only other plant type is Florant, and anyway, he has the highest attack stat in the game, and pair that with, you know, better stab than everything else, and it hits hard. Unfortunately, it's held back right now by the fact it doesn't have a hard-hitting plant stab or physical plant stab. It has a 70, 75, I forget. But power plant move, but it's a weaker outrage, and nobody likes that. So right now, mixed Tataab's better. Anyway, it has a lot of weaknesses. So it's hard to get in, but it puts in a lot of work when it does get in. It can 2-hit KO Hamber after Icicle Trap. It can take down Luminami. It beats Luxor because it resists light. Resisting light is inherently a bonus. Like, light type is stupid broken. And if you resist light, that automatically makes you better. Except if your name's Florant. Let's see. He has a 104 speed, is pretty darn good. He's what, the 3rd fastest in the game? 4th fastest. Zulong, Avitross, Duskit, then him. Yeah, 4th fastest. And his move pool isn't bad. But like I said, it's 70 power. But like I said, his only physical plant stab right now, besides Pedal Pummel, is a 70 power outrage, which sucks. So yeah, I go Life Drain, Jungle Jutsu, Nature's Force, and Toxic Tail just for GP. It's not really gonna do much. What are you gonna use Toxic Tail on? Other Tataab, but Jungle Jutsu does more anyway. What's weak? Yeah, Toxic Tail is just kind of there. Well, how much energy does it cost? Okay, yeah, if you want to finish something off, you'd use Toxic Tail because it's easier on the energy. But yeah, Avitross kind of hard stops him, unfortunately. Although Nature's Force surprisingly putting in work. But as you can see here, nosedive, rip. But like I said, you've already seen it. It reliably beats Luminami, so we're just gonna skip over to Hamber. It hard loses the Searnight. It does not like Searnight whatsoever. But as you can see, Hamber does nothing. And like I said, it can 2-hit KO after. Oh wait, oh wrong one. It does 2-hit KO after Icicle Trap with this Nature's Force. Yeah, so being able to reliably beat Hamber down is always good because he's just the great wall right now. But let's see, another relevant thing being Luxor. Yeah, it can beat Luxor with the combination of you can use Jungle Jutsu once, and like after Icicle Trap, you can also hit it with a Life Drain to get some health back. You can switch on it once, but you shouldn't really, but you can come in if Luxor gets a kill. But let's see, Duskit, it hard loses too. Well, not really hard loses, but you don't want to get hit by it. Like, when I say hard loses, I mean like you can't do anything to them, but you can at least chunk them on if they come in against you, but you don't want to stay in versus Duskit. What else is relevant? Yeah, I can't think. Oh wait, Valkyrie? Oh no, you're not weak to Brawler anyway, so it doesn't matter. But oh, okay. Well, I'll be darned, you do beat down Valkyrie. That's fun to note. Cool. Beat down all the bugs by default because they're weak to the Brawler. So yeah, he's really hard like whatever he beats pretty hard, but he gets beat really hard. Oh wait, Vesperatu is like his worst matchup. Once the set loads, I have to get rid of Sharp Claws because nobody has the hidden ability. Bamboozle into Shadow Sprint knocks him out. Jungle Jutsu does nothing. You can hit him for a third, but he has Revival to heal him up for half. So Tataab can't beat him. And you gotta be careful because he can also set up. But overall, he's really good, but not. I wouldn't quite put him on the same level as Searnight and Luminami, but I'd put him just a spot or two behind him. Or behind them. I think, if not, Duskit might just be right there, squeezed in between the two. But anyway, that's Tataab. So we're just gonna move on. What do we got next? Valkyrie. What would be amazing if it had special metal stab right now, but it doesn't. But it does hit pretty hard on the light side, so there's that. It does have a good defensive typing. I say that, but it has 5 resistances. Oof. But it resists light. Like I said, always good. Resist ancient, always good. I consider the top 3 types in the game to be ice, light, or offensive types. To be ice, light, and ancient. So if you resist those, you're in a good spot. But again, being weak to electric makes Zulong a problem. But Zulong is the problem because he is hard to deal with. So, lackluster speed kind of hurts him. But he does hit like a truck, although Luxor hits harder right now, at least because he does the 80 base power stab. He only hits slightly. It hits for slightly less than Luxor, but he doesn't take recoil, and he has a better defensive typing, so that could be your thing if you don't want to deal with Luxor's recoil. But overall, he's just not. He's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not that great right now. So, you know, it's probably just best to pull him up. Valkyrie. Oh well, I don't need Bestraat. We all know he gets beat down. Like, hang on, here. There we go. Oof. Even Luster Loot, that weak one, heals. Oko and heals. Oh boy. But can't break Hamber right now. Yeah, see that's unfortunate. That's smart too. That's like plus ranged attack with full investment. Yeti's Wrath hurts. So can't really beat Hamber. Here's Searnight's matchup. Oh, it's not actually that bad. Oh yeah, because light resists fire, that's why. I kept thinking, and it'll 2-hit KO most, like if I did that. Oh wait, no. 160 plus 160 is never mind. Okay, so most of the time though, Searnight will be able to 2-hit KO, but I guess it doesn't do too badly versus Searnight, but the matchup's still not all that great, but it's not touching Luminami at all. Yeah. Oof, that is baby damage, but I guess the same is said for... Oh wait, there we go. It's a slugfest, but it does less than 20% with every hit, so Luminami can just soft water and heal back the damage. Valkyrie does. I believe it loses to Tataab, although I believe we just checked this earlier. Yeah, it loses to Tataab. It beats Duskit. There's that. Duskit can't really hurt it because Spectral Burst does nothing and it resists Brainwash. Here, have a +6 Brainwash. Well, that's still a 2-hit KO, and you've 2-hit KO'd again. 2-hit KO'd it like 4 turns ago. Who else is relevant? It beats Luxor because it resists light, but a big problem with Valkyrie, Umbrat exists. It's inherently slower, like lower base speed, but you have to choose. Do you want to be smart and hit as hard as possible? Like smart personality. Or do you want to be faster than Umbrat? This Umbrat set's assuming that the Valkyrie isn't gonna be faster than it, but yeah, that's always the problem. But this specific spread you see here is actually tailored to combat this boy right here. Even hidden ability, it comes in after Icicle Trap. It'll take 87.5 is how much the max health. Your 87.5% is what you'll be at if you take neutral damage from ice. So 87.3. The worst case scenario is Valkyrie gets left with 1 HP, but it OHKOs back. Although if it were 100 HP, it's not a guaranteed OHKO. But then Icicle Trap means it is. So yeah, there's that. Zulong. Obviously, you don't ever want to switch in on Zulong, but yeah, the set's designed to take a hit and no go back, so there's that. Zulong is not unkillable. But other than that, it has decent matchups, but it's just meh. Oh yeah, it beats Avitross. I guess that's neat. I guess. Like it doesn't take anything. But yeah, that's Valkyrie. It's cool, but it's like held back right now. Now we have I'd put it, if I were to put it in a tier, I'd put it in like mid B. Mid B is where I'd shove it. Now Bestraat, I'd say this is the worst of the starters in a competitive standpoint at the moment because obviously things can change. But it's quad weak to light. Oof. It's weak to fire, which is a whole nother can of worms to talk about. Bug and ancient. Being weak to ancient and light, you're weak to two of the big three, which sucks. On typing alone, Bestraat is weak to 5 of the 7 starters. It's only neutral damage from. Oh wait, no. Not typing alone. Just like it loses to 5 of the 7 starters. It's weak to 4. Searnight, Luminami, Valkyrie, and Zulong. But Hamber walls him to all in, so there's that. 110 attack isn't bad, but the highest stab move he gets is base 60 power. So it's like, oof, he can't really hit right now, and with 65 range defense, he can't really take a hit either, which is dumb because his kit has an offensive leech seed and roost. You'd think they'd make him kind of bulky. I mean, sure, 90 defense, 76 health isn't terrible, but like he's weak to things you don't want to be weak to. Let's see here. What else? Oh yeah, let's talk about this fire type weakness. So, Dark is weak to fire in Loomian Legacy. Now, if you go with some roundabout logic, it all makes sense. Fire produces light. Dark, or light, makes it not dark, so that would make sense, right? I would be all for it if light type didn't already exist on its own. But light type does exist, so why is it weak to fire? Why are you using roundabout logic to justify this? If that's the case, why isn't fire weak to ice? Why can't we use roundabout logic there? Well, you see, fire melts ice, so that's obviously why fire is not weak to ice. Oh, you're right. But fire melts ice. That's what I just said. Yeah. What does ice turn to when it melts? Water. Water puts out fire. Whoa. Roundabout logic. So why isn't ice or fire weak to ice? Oh right, water already exists, so like why what's the point in that? Anyway, yeah, dark shouldn't be weak to fire. That's my whole spiel on it. Let's do some calcs, I guess. I did manage to make a set with this thing. We'll just go down and we'll just go through the starters, and that should show you already that okay, so he loses to Zulong already. Bamboos, oh wait, that's Sharp Claws, my bad. And that's Brute Force, my bad. Oh no, he's not one hit KO, but most of the time he will be after Icicle Trap. If he gets 2 max rolls, that's a 2-hit KO, although Icicle Trap does make that a lot easier to hit for a 2-hit KO, but he's faster and can one-shot him. Well, after Icicle Trap. Yeah, Zulong resists Spirit, so Shadow Sprint ain't doing jack diddly. And he's got a 60 power move. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Next we got Hamber. By the way, it's nimble with 144 speed, and that is speed creeping Luxor. Luxor is maxed out at like 304 or 305. I believe 304, but the 144 is to make sure it also outspeeds at level 50. So, and then the rest is dumped into special defense, so it doesn't die to a single special hit. Hamber, yeah, he can't do he does absolutely nothing to Hamber. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, Hamber just walls him to all end. Searnight. Oh yeah, this is also fun. Being weak to fire. Although, even if he wasn't weak to fire, he still doesn't beat Searnight, but still should be weak to fire. Well, of course, I'd adjust the set so that he actually could take 2 hits, so he could set up while also doing the whole revival thing. But, yeah, Searnight can one-shot him, does one-shot him after Icicle Trap. That's a thing. Luminami, I shouldn't even need to put this up here. He's quad weak to light. You already know how this is gonna go. And yeah, one shot. Although there's a chance. He has 302 HP. He could live. He could live and then not even do half, but he could live. There's that, and immune to spirits, so that's a thing. Who's next? Tataab. Hey, look, one of the ones he actually beats, because Tataab can't actually hurt him that much. But right now he... So yeah, there's that. He can beat Tataab. There's Valkyrie. He loses to this. He can't... He's just he's just in an unfortunate spot. Yeah, absolutely destroyed. And then of course the other one's Bestraat, but yeah, who cares about that? But something to note, after Icicle Trap, he can one-shot Duskit. That's fun. Well, here, let me... Most of the time. So if you see a Duskit setting up, oh god, they somehow got to +6/+6 by some fluke of nature. Shadow Sprint them. It's most likely gonna die. Anyway. So it does have a niche to kill Duskit after it sets up. What else exists? Oh right. Luxor, I don't need to, he's light type, you know how that goes. Umbrat, how does that matchup go? I believe Umbrat wins because it does more damage. Oh, no, never mind. That's just a bad time. This is not a matchup either one should participate in. What happens if they're both +6? Because they can both set up to +6, although this set's not with sharpen. Yeah, they 2-hit KO each other. That's interesting. Cool. So it's kind of a stalemate between those two. But yeah, Bestraat, like, he's good on, like, his stats are fine, mostly fine, but that typing, that being weak to fire is the big downer here. So, unfortunate for Bestraat, but I'd put him in like a C tier. That's just my thing with him. Who's up next? Hamber? Okay, yeah. Let's talk about Hamber. He's got plenty of weaknesses. He's got 5 weaknesses, but a very select few can actually reliably 2-hit KO him. Although this will all change, or it might all change depending on what offensive items we get when the Coliseum comes out. But right now, I'd say he's like the most defining thing in the game, in the metagame, because Icicle Trap. Yeah, with 132 HP and 115 defense, good luck. With a physical move, unless your name's Tataab, you're just not doing much at all. But he resists air and toxic and immune to electric, so he's one of the few that could switch in on Zulong, but Zulong's a whole nother can of worms that we're about to get to actually. So we're just gonna get to some calcs. No, actually, I lied. His move pool is kind of limited at the moment, but he does have Winter's Fury, which I don't know. Oh, I forgot to go over the fact that Soft Water is actually going to get nerfed at some point to 1/8 instead of 1/5. Although they're waiting till PvP comes out just to actually see if it's broken. But it is. It really is, trust me. But along with that, they're probably, maybe, hopefully gonna increase Winter's Fury hit count to at least 2. But with Winter's Fury, he can actually get some energy back, although the energy cost is pretty steep on it. But Icicle Trap, Yeti's Wrath, Winter's Fury, or Chili Chomp, depending on the few, the set can almost self-sustain. It just depends what you're hitting with Winter's Fury. I don't know actually how much energy you get back because I haven't actually tested it, because I actually don't have much of anything on Loomian Legacy right now, so that's fun. Because I've been too busy with this whole calc right here. Anyway, speaking of the calc, let's put Hamber up here and then have Thing attack it. Except Searnight, Tataab, and Luminami. We already know those 3. Oh, Searnight is unreliable, but those 3 can beat him. So what do we got? Zulong. You know what? Let's just get right to Zulong. We're gonna go with Awakening because I haven't seen Brute Force. Yeah, it doesn't even do a third to him, so that's fun to note. But the problem with Zulong is Ancient Roar lets him pivot out at any time, being the fastest thing in the game. But he can one-shot him if someone's stupid enough to stay in with him. What, we got Valkyrie. We already did Valkyrie earlier, Bestraat. Oh, we pretty much already covered all the starters hitting him, so let's go to Luxor. The thing about Luxor, if like that set I said earlier, like that person that had this set earlier, they had this set, they don't have any special defense, so if you have like 200 and Smart, and they have Icicle Trap, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO on the switch, so there's that. But mine is personally going to be Nimble, just because the speed. It'll catch unsuspecting Bestraat, which is irrelevant, but you know, better than taking a random bamboozle for nothing. But well, any offensive item will push this damage over, so that's cool to note. But I personally have 184 because at level 50, this energy investment actually lets me get 4 of these off before I need to actually rest. So that's the energy investment that I already know we can't get right now, but you know, in the future. These are slightly future-proofed in terms of like the spreads. But yeah, it can't really switch it on Luxroar all that well, but Umbrat, yeah, good luck, have fun. Yeah, there you go. Does almost nothing. It does about as much as... Wait. Does... Hang on, is that damage identical to Zulong? 26.5 to... or 26.5 to like 31. Ah. Never mind. Wait. Oh, that's because I don't have... This is why. Yeah, there we go. But now the Umbrat does less. Yeah, so Hamber just walls a lot of crap. It doesn't do too much damage unless they're weak to you, or they just have like no bulk. But the combination of Icicle Trap and good matchups versus a lot of the starters just makes it a really big threat. I put it like second best right now, right under Zulong, which we're about to go to. And yeah, Umbrat does nothing to it. So we're just gonna go right over to Umbrat or Zulong. So 119 speed, 109 special attack, actually the second highest in the game after Valkyrie, so that's kind of dumb. He only has 3 weaknesses too, but 2 of them is 2 of the big 3, Blight and Ancient. And he actually has a decent sum of resistances, Fire, Plant, Air, Spirit, Electric. So like, his defensive typing isn't that bad, but oh wait, I forgot. Do I still have the calc up? No, I don't. Cool. I don't have like my OBS active because both my monitors are taken up by stuff right now. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So in like a Pokemon standpoint, these stats are all right, but nothing crazy. But being the fastest in the game right now with what is basically Parting Shot, and Dual Stab that pretty much hits everything for neutral. It kind of puts him at that level where it's like you need something designed specifically for this guy, unless your name's Hamber. But even then, you can't really. But like even if they have something specifically for this, you have Parting Shot or Ancient Roar, and they can do nothing about it. So like Zulong comes in. If it's a good matchup, proceed to kill. If not good matchup, Ancient Roar out, and then come back later when that thing's gone, or it's a good matchup for him again. So, and his speed stat means that nobody has any say in the matter, except maybe an Avitross at +1, but then you're not doing anything to Zulong anyway because he resists your stab. So, let's show how much this boy breaks things. But we gotta go with Awakening. 2-shot Umbrat can't switch in. Luxor, same deal. It's actually even bigger deal because less bulk. Can't switch in, but it can Revenge because obviously it one-shots, but it's gonna cost you majority of your Luxor. Hamber we already saw could switch in. Here's Searnight, but Metal's weak to Electric, so yeah, yeah, you can break through that, especially once we get offensive items too. Like if we ever do get access to hidden ability Life Orb. It's hidden ability Sheer Force, but it's called Brute Force. But with Life Orb, you don't take the recoil. Oh boy. So there's that. We already showed Luminami off earlier, but it still does a heck ton of damage. So 2 shots Luminami, Tataab. Believe it can actually come in on 1 hit. Nope, never mind. I lied. It can't come in at all. If Zulong ever gets weakened to the point, it could come in, eat a hit, knock him out, but he can't come in reliably. We already checked Vesperatu, Valkyrie. Unless it, like, this set requires a full HP Valkyrie for this to work, so there's that. What else is there? Oh, Duskit. Yeah, you know, Spirit also weak to Ancient, so it can't come in either. So like nothing really switches in on Zulong, and whatever can switch in can't stop his Ancient Roar. However, there is one that can save us all. There we go. There we go. That's the kind of damage we like to see. Florant. Oh wait, Icicle Trap exists. That's 24.4 is, you know, 1 point under. Well, 1 point under that 25%, so he needs 2 minerals not to kill. So, yeah. Never mind, Florant, you suck because Icicle Trap. Anyway. So yeah, Zulong is just really hard to switch into. If you can get like a Luxor set up with speed, then Zulong will not come in until Luxor gets the heck out of there. So it's not like you can't stop Zulong, but good luck. Yeah. So I'd put him number 1 right now, undeniably. So we're finally through the starters, and I'm just curious. Did this take longer than my first take? Slightly. Anyway, doesn't matter. Umbrat. We're moving on to him. We're finally out of starters, so we're finally moving on to the decent statted stuff because they're not starters. 525 total, 618 total. That's fun. Dark type, weak to fire. Unfortunate. But, he has the highest neutral melee damage of the game. Like, not even Tataab hits as hard as him on a neutral hit. But has 30 less attack. But that this ability right here, Overshadow, if you ever heard of Pixelate, it's that, but Dark type. And, he does get quite a few typeless moves to turn into, Dark type moves. And he can set up with Sharpen. He can set up his attack, and he can set up his speed, and he has priority. And his signature move, Gloomfangs, can shut down light moves for 2 turns, so things like Luminami or Valkyrie wouldn't be able to fire back. And if you're set up with speed, then you also have... You can also outspeed Luxor and completely shut it down, because all it will have is light moves. So there's that. So like on paper, he's actually not all that bad, but I already showed you earlier, but Hamber stops him like hard. So let's pull up Searnight. I doubt he does too much to him, but let's see here. Yeah, he can hit him pretty hard a few times, but being weak to fire again hurts him a lot. Unfortunate. Luminami, this is what Luminami fears. This thing right here. Sure, if he catches him on a, you don't ever want to like switch in on Luminami unless you're predicting one of these 3 moves. And then Gloomfang and Reaching Tackle will always KO. Although unless it already has a soft water up, then it won't. But he won't be able to. It won't be able to use a light move on you for a little while, so it'd have to chip away with you with Maroon. But you could also like if it's using soft water and dodge, that also gives you the opportunity. I also have a sharpening set. It also gives you the opportunity to set up sharpen. So if it does soft water or dodge, you can always sharpen, and suddenly you're killing it. So yeah, it deals with Luminami fairly well. Tataab, it can't switch in on Tataab, but it will break him if things want to update ever. Oh, there we go. It was Sheets was just having a hiccup, and there we go. Anyway, he'll just flat Oko. And also like, even if it comes in at half health, or you can just quick pass it and boom, it's dead. Access to priority is really nice on Umbrat. So and this 156 defense, which you can't actually really train yet because, you know, no place to solely train defense, but would actually potentially live two of these hits. Valkyrie, again, these two are like, it depends on the set. If Valkyrie's faster, Valkyrie wins. If Umbrat's faster, Umbrat wins. But if Valkyrie is faster than Umbrat, it's sacrificing a lot of damage for other things. So it's either beating Umbrat or it's hitting everything else harder. So there's that. There's that whole toss-up with Valkyrie. Yeah. So Umbrat overall, it just deals massive damage to almost everything. Hamber, Vesperatu, or like the sole exceptions, and of course other Umbrat, but alright, Duskit. How much does it do to Duskit? It resists Spirit and Mind, so it actually deals with Duskit pretty darn well. As you can see, it's not taking much of anything. And I believe 34 plus 66 is 100, so you can just, you don't, Raging Tackle does do recoil, so there's that whole caveat there. But Gloomfang and a Raging Tackle will guarantee the KO while taking minimal recoil. So overall, I'd put it at the top B tier. Its speed is what's really holding it back, and the recoil means it's limited on what it can actually break through. So, but it's still really good. I find it to be really good. Anyway, moving on, we got well, Luxor, the other rat. It has the same premise on its ability, but it's with light type moves, and it's 20 points faster, so it can do a little bit more. And also it's light type, so it's inherently better. Because instead of resisting Spirit, it's immune to it, so there's that. It gets the same move, the wiki's kind of behind, but it gets the exact same moves as Umbrat, but anything learned after it evolves is swapped with special variants of it. So Sharpen is now Disperse, and Raging Tackle is now Raging Howl. Also, I forgot, both of them have Scapegoat, which is Substitute, so you can do some substitute shenanigans, but you don't really benefit too much from it. So, although, now that I'm looking at it, with Umbrat, you can actually set up a Substitute in front of its face, take a hit, and set up without breaking the sub. So there's that. Just thought of that. If a leftovers type item were to come in, that would actually be a viable set on Umbrat. Actually, that would be really scary. But anyway, we're talking about Luxor now. Yeah, it's basically Umbrat but light type, and 20 points faster, and special. So don't know why I got rid of the calc. Let's just go to Luxor. We already saw Hamber. I forgot if we probably saw Searnight too. But Raging Howl does do a good chunk to Searnight. This is all assuming offensive Searnight, because defensive Searnight doesn't have too much of a use right now due to, well, one, I've never seen a hidden ability, so we can't use that Intimidate or Terrifying. And we don't know what items we're going to have, so we don't know if we're going to have leftovers. So offensive is definitely the way to go with Searnight. And in most cases, you'll be doing about that much. I don't know where the calc is on your screen. But it's doing about that much damage, and that's a lot. Luminami walls it because it resists light. Tataab walls it because it resists light. Valkyrie resists light too. Avitross won't ever come in on this thing. And what? Zulong will be actually scared. It probably wouldn't want to attack Luxor unless it's in range to die. So you get a free hit off of something there or setup. But Florant. There's always Florant. Yeah, Icicle Trap. Oh, it's not even a 3-hit KO after taking 50%. So, Florant, if you need something to hard stop Luxor, get yourself a Florant and take half your health on Icicle Trap. But it'll stop Luxor. Anyway, but yeah, Luxor just nukes anything it doesn't resist. So there's that. I put it at the bottom of A tier, like just one spot above Umbrat, because it's light type and it's faster. But other than that, they function the same way. So let's move on to bug. I forgot these things exist because bugs suck in this game. Unfortunately, I'd say they're the worst typing in the game. But its abilities suck. It has no bulk, and it's a bug type. It's quad weak to ice, so it takes half its health on switch into Icicle Trap. It's weak to Zulong, so yeah. Mystery Toxins requires it to take a physical hit, but with 60-55 or contact physical hit, and its 60-55 bulk makes that not a reliable thing. Yeah. It resists dark, so Umbrat? Maybe? Well, let's just show some calcs. I did throw together some makeshift set. It's probably, I don't remember what I did with it. 144 speed. What it was, oh yeah, it's to outspeed Valkyrie, just in case it gets like Sleep Powder or Quiver Dance. If it got Quiver Dance, it'd be alright, despite its glaring flaws. But oh yeah, it's a special attacker that can break through a specially defensive Florant, if that means anything to you. But like I said, let's check out Umbrat. With this little defense, I would be surprised. Yeah, yep. It guaranteed lives a hit after Icicle Trap. It'll live with 1 HP. Oof. It'll live with 1 HP and not even OHKO back. Oh, actually no, after what, 154 damage, and if it's like Double Edge, it would take a fourth of its health and recoil, or a fourth of the damage and recoil. No, it wouldn't OHKO back. Unfortunate. It's either a fourth or a third. But it wouldn't be able to OHKO back, and then you get quick pounce to death. So that's fun. So it resists dark, but can't really take on the dark. Tataab, why not? It just can't do anything right now. It'll smack Tataab for half if it could, well, possibly half if it could get a chance to hit anything. It's just not. It can't do anything. Its weaknesses are too crippling. It has no ability, essentially no ability, because its hidden ability protects it from powder moves and weather damage. We have no powder moves and we have no weather, so its hidden ability is literally useless right now. So I put it in the D tier, second or last place, one of the two. Yeah, I put it actually in last, because unlike Cynomoth, Florant can do something. Oops, did I spoil where Florant is? Yeah, Cynomoth just can't do much. Yep, okay, moving on. Avitross, the overrated burb, the most hyped up burb to ever exist, and well, I'd say it's overrated. But we'll get into that later. It has 113 speed and speed boost, so that's fun. 100 attack is respectable, but it gets no coverage, so anything that resisted stab, it walls it, so. AKA Hamber, Zulong of all things. What else resists air? I forget. What all resists air? What all resists air? Air, metal, ice, electric. That's it. Cool. But Searnight walls it, although fire's weak to air, but you know, Searnight has 125 defense. Alright, so basically the game plan with Avitross: come in, click dodge, possibly click gust if you need to get rid of hazards. And then you just click nosedive if the thing will die, if the thing in front of you dies. But we're gonna get into why that's not really reliable right now. So I forget, is my calc already up? No, it's not. Let's put it up. Hey guys, there's a calc now. I'm good at my job, don't worry. Avitross. Hamber. I need to reposition myself here. As you can see, it doesn't even do 10%. Not even 10% to Hamber. Although if it uses slash, it does 12. Well, most likely 13, but people kept telling me on Discord, Avitross can just come in on Yeti's Wrath and then just click Gust. And I'm just like, well, that's cool and all. But what next? What after that? What's the game plan there? If Icicle Trap's already out, you're taking 25% of your health. And then you're gusting to do 2.8 to 3.4% of its health. And then what? Hamber's out in front of you. It can just set Icicle Trap back up. It can do over half your health with just 2 hits of Winter's Fury. If it gets 3, it could KO after stealth. It will most likely KO you after Icicle Trap. Ooh, Avitross got it rough there. Let's see, what else are some top tier things? Zulong, hey there, buddy. 56 base defense. I'm sure you'll take some good damage. Oh, not even half. From a max attack brawny Avitross. And you just straight... Oh, it could live with 2 HP. Could live with 2 HP. Oh boy. So, you're sacrificing your burb, do about half, not even half of its health. Anyway, let's go to Searnight. You know, another one of the really good ones. Oh, not even a third. Oh, wait. Didn't get through. Okay, yeah, not even a third, and you're 2-hit KO'd most of the time. Sometimes. About half the time. Oof. Luminami. Are you seeing a trend here? There's a lot of stuff it just cannot hit. Luminami. It has soft water, so... Even, if... Pre-nerf, it does almost nothing. Post-nerf, it wins 1v1 with the combination of dodge and just energy. Energy sustain. It's going to have to take turns to wait or rest versus this thing because Perch takes a lot of energy to use. Nosedive does recoil, so you're going to have to use Perch combined with him getting hit with these two. Oh wait, I keep forgetting. Awakening. So it's taking even more because the reason it's like this is because it would be its hidden ability, but it doesn't actually affect damage, so I didn't put it here. So yeah, Avitross doesn't do well versus Luminami. Then we go down to Tataab. Oh boy, the one thing it can actually beat. Woo! We got a winning matchup for our bird boy. Now we go to Duskit. I guess if you've got Icicle Trap up, you could 2-hit KO it. Okay, Duskit is a nose-diveable target. Luxor, how much do you do? It is 2-hit KO'd by Nosedive, but it can't switch in. It has to come in after Luxor's already in. But if Luxor sets up, by the time it gets in, it's O-code after Icicle Trap. So there's that. That's fun. Umbrat's probably the same situation, but actually doesn't reliably 2-hit KO without Icicle Trap damage. Yeah, it's the same situation. So, although it has this 100 speed here, that's just for the future. That's just for future. It would outspeed up to base 154 at +1. But most of the time you're probably going to put that 100 here in defense or just swap these two. So it would do slightly less, but again, same premise as Luxor. Can't switch in, and if it sets up Euro code after Icicle Trap, or in Luxor's case, it comes, it hits you and then it priority kills you. So that's fun. So Umbrat, not the best thing to nosedive. What else exists? Valkyrie. Oh, yeah, that thing takes nothing. 2 hit KO, does nothing back. Vesperatu, what about you? Surely the least useful one. Yeah, it has a winning matchup versus Vesperatu, so there's that. Congratulations. And then it beats the bugs, so there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on him. It doesn't have a lot it can hit, but what it does, it does have a few winning matchups. So I put it at mid B, spot or 2 under Umbrat. Yeah. So we're just gonna move on to Swelter. The most viable bug, I'll just lead off with that because it gets toxic, which is called Poison. A toxic type move called Poison, coming from Pokemon when the move is called Toxic, a Poison type move. So there you go, fun. Its stats are not good. It's basically an area dose, but it doesn't get Sticky Web, so there's that. Weak to ice, unfortunately weak to air, so Avitross food, weak to mind. But Brainwash sucks, so that doesn't really matter. Although it'll deal slightly more damage than Spectral Burst, so there's that. It's not that great, but it can do some stuff. I did find an interesting set for it. Yeah, I'll just lead with the set. It doesn't have an ability here. It does have a hidden ability, Coursing Venom, which means it can come in on toxic type moves, and it's basically Flash Fire there. But the only thing that's going to be using toxic moves is itself, so Coursing Venom's kind of useless right now. So its other abilities are Apprehension and Webbing, but Apprehension useless, and but Webbing is like Gooey from Pokemon. Take a contact hit and it lowers their speed by a stage. So this set right here, this speed right here with the nibble, it'll eat this jungle jutsu. Well, yeah, the Tataab switches in. It's now 1v1. Tataab uses jungle jutsu. It does most of Swelter's health. Its speed goes down to -1. It actually drops to 221 speed. So again, it has more than 222 because this EV spread lets it outspeed at level 52. So it drops to 221 speed. Swelter uses Venom Chop, does over half, and then the next turn it uses Venom Chop again because it outspeeds and kills Tataab. So it can revenge a Tataab at the cost of majority of Swelter. You could also lead it versus Hamber. Like if Hamber leads, you could lead it and then Toxic Hamber. And then stall it out with something else, so just be mindful of the fact that you are probably going to get hurt. Very, very, very hurt in the process. Although if it's turn 1 and you get the Toxic off and it just sets up Icicle Trap, you can dip on out of there and save it for something else, so I guess it's not absolutely god-awful. But Luminami is another thing. It's weak to toxic, so maybe it can get some decent damage in there. A light, it doesn't even do close to half. That's super effective. That's super effective. That's fun. And here's Awakening. It does more back. In the future, when bulky waters maybe get access to poison, it could have its Coursing Venom ability, and if it has stronger Poison Stab, it would definitely be able to do a lot more. It'd be able to come in on the toxic, get the Coursing Venom boost, and scare him out because water's weak to toxic in this game. And yeah, Oof. So there's Swelter. I'd put him either equal with Vesperatu in terms of viability or one spot under. C tier. Moving on. Oof. The most unfortunate case in Loomian Legacy, Florant. Its stats, 85 health, 90 defense, 90 range defense. That's some good bulk, considering the generally low stats of the early game. It has its hidden ability, Drainage. If you ever heard of the item Big Root in Pokemon, it increases how much health you get back from moves that steal health, like Leech Seed, Leech Life, all that crap. It increases all that stuff by 30%. It also works with Ingrain, but Ingrain sucks. Don't use Take Root. Don't use it. Please don't. But yeah, it works with that stuff. But as you can see here, it's 4 times weak to Ice. It's weak to Fire, Air, Bug, Toxic, and Brawler. So beat by Tataab, beat by all the other bugs, including Swelter again, Avitross, Searnight, and Hamber. It does, however, the redeemable qualities, assuming if you can get rid of Icicle Trap, you can actually make this thing work as especially defensive Loomian. Water, that's Luminami. Electric, that's Zulong, and Light, that's a lot of Luxroaring, Luminami, Valkyrie. And Earth, I've completely forgotten about Borok this entire time, but we'll get to him. And Earth, so Borok. And yeah. So the reason I put it in D tier, probably second lowest, all because of Icicle Trap. All these resistances are great, but it comes in with half health every time if Icicle Trap is up. So you essentially multiply all these weakness, all this typing stuff by 2, because it just comes in with half health. So essentially times 8 weak to Ice, times 4 to all these, times 1 to all this, times 0.5 to all this, and times 2. So that's assuming Icicle Trap is up. If you do manage to KO Hamber and get rid of Icicle Trap for good, Florant can actually put in work. So let's get into this. Florant, assuming you can get rid of Hamber. So Hamber's out of the picture, Icicle Trap is gone. This is the spread I've chosen. It's clever with Drainage, 196 HP. That, again, this is worst case. This is with assuming Icicle Trap is there, your HP will round up to 51% instead of 50%. So that's why it's not 200. Otherwise, it's an even number, and it would put you at directly half, which is technically less than. Yeah. Anyway, this lets you come in on Icicle Trap twice and have 1 HP instead of 0 HP. 200 special defense, so it's just specially defensive, and then 104 attack of all things. That's because it's running Parasitize, and you'll see why in a second why that helps. Luminami. This would be the Stall Wars to end all Stall Wars. Although, except not really, because Sap Plant and Pestilence and Drainage means it's actually not going to Luminami cannot kill unless they're carrying Sleet Shot. If they have Sleet Shot, this all falls apart. Although 385 divided by 8 times 1.3. Yeah, it gets a good sum of HP back from that. And Nature's Force does do some decent damage, so if you can get Pestilence up and Sap Plant, it's whittling down at Luminami, and between the two of these, it's what, 1/8, 1/4, it actually out damaging the soft water, and then add another 25-30% with the Nature's Force, so you'll actually whittle down Luminami very well. Just hope it doesn't have Sleet Shot. But most won't carry Sleet Shot because it won't deal with Tataab, and Florant's the only other thing you'd run Sleet Shot for. And Florant's not that great. But Zulong, like I said earlier, it's the one thing that's not Hamber that can actually eat special hits from this thing. Like, look at that. That's even brute force. Now we're gonna go to Awakening, and it does even less, and then you get Sap Plant up, and if only Pestilence would actually lock you in. If even it like prevent you from switching with Ancient Roar, then this would actually be useful. Yeah. And again, Parasitize just to do that. This would be your move of choice, and you know, get some more healing back. Drainage, I actually love. Like I saw this kit and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I want to try this out. And then I saw its weaknesses and I'm like, I want to cry. But there's another. Oh, what else is special attacking? All right, Duskit. Yeah, here we go. Here's the 104 attack. Having fun. Let's say you didn't have this. It's not a guaranteed 3-hit KO. In fact, you need max rolls to 3-hit KO. 104 attack. Boom! It's 3-hit KO. So you're taking less damage from this thing. It really can't set up on you, because even at +6, it's doing about that much. That's a lot of damage, but it'll die long before that happens. So it helps beat Duskit. Also, Vesperatu is just as an added bonus. Here we go. Yay. It beats down Vesperatu as well. What else is special attacking? Luxor, yeah, being light type, it can't touch. It cannot touch Florant, and you beat it down. You sap away at it. Valkyrie, I believe Florant beats it. Like, again, this is all assuming Light Trap doesn't exist, or Icicle Trap is down, because Holy Slash would actually do more. Let's just say it didn't actually run this speed and put it into its attack. Yeah, it would do. Holy Slash does more. But again, with Sap Plant, and yeah, with Sap Plant with Drainage, you're recovering that a lot of that HP back. So I didn't realize they had the same base HP stat. That's neat. Anyway, and the special. Whoa. Anyway, and then paired with Pestilence, Sap Plant, things become like this. Without the bold, this means at the end of the third turn, assuming both of these are up, these moves will kill. So it only needs 3-4 turns to take it down, and it needs more than 4 turns to KO Florant. So, like, it stops all the special attackers except for the token Cynamoth. If you need to beat down Florant and there's no Icicle Trap, pull out your Cynamoth. Anyway, but there's Florant. I put it in D tier because Icicle Trap is just going to be everywhere, and yeah, those are my If you can actually manage to get rid of Icicle Trap, Florant can put in work. It's just weak to every physical. This is also the reason I have no physical defense on this set. It's weak to almost every physical attacker. Tataab, Searnight, Avitross, Hamber, not Borok. What else is physical? Well, not Vesperatu, not Umbrat, although Umbrat still kind of destroys it. Yeah, there you go. Although if it had defense, Umbrat wouldn't destroy it, but I'm not going to put in defense just for Umbrat when everything else kills it. Like, here, have a Searnight. Even if I put in that defense, it wouldn't matter. It's still getting 2-hit KO'd. Although with Searnight, I actually recommend Rapid Fire over Hop Kick. That's just what I put the preset set for the preset in here. I recommend Rapid Fire because Hop Kick doesn't really hit anything these two doesn't, except Bug. Because Bug's not weak to fire for whatever reason. Bug's not weak to fire, but Dark is. But yeah, Rapid Fire just for fishing for burn. But anyway. Yeah, it loses to Searnight. Have an Avitross. Oh boy. Loses to Avitross, although I wonder if I made this physically defensive. Yeah, it's still 2k, I'd miss the time. Anyway, Hamber we don't need to go over, but sure, why not? Winter's Fury. Is how much? Oh, yeah, that's just 2 hits. Imagine if it got all 3. Oops, you're dead. Tataab. Yeah, this is the reason I didn't make it a physically defensive. But if you can get rid of Icicle Trap, you can make Florant work. Cool. Oh, so that's an oof. But yeah, we're just gonna move on from Florant now. I've spent a while on him. Terafly. He had potential until he didn't get a physical toxic move. Like, all he can do is use bug moves. Which is okay considering his hidden ability is Moxie, but only triggered by bug moves anyway. But I prefer Ambush. 3 resists, 3 weaknesses, everything else is neutral, but it's weak to ice, and it's weak to Avitross. But Terafly, like I said, it has a decent attack stat paired with Ambush, which doubles damage if the Pokemon is just coming in for that turn. So like, you scare out a Florant, I guess, and it goes into Hamber, it'll take twice as much as normal, but twice if nothing is still nothing, so... yeah, it would actually be pretty cool if it had a physical toxic move, because then you could scare out, like if Tataab's not gonna kill you, it would kill you. Like, the Terafly would kill you with a toxic move, so you would want to switch out, and then you get the ambush boost, and it goes into a toxic resist, so like, oh, well, metal resists both, but still, it's double damage, so it's like it didn't resist it in the first place. So, but it doesn't have that, so I can't say that. So let's just pull up. You're gonna see the wackiest, quite a wacky set here. 104 ranged attack because Muck Blast. That's what it's got to work with its toxic typing. But if for whatever reason they decide to switch into Tataab with Ambush, you get that guaranteed Oko with Muck Blast. There you go. But other than that, it doesn't really do much. This is 200 Brawny. This is Brawny. It takes about half if it switches in that turn, and then you don't really do much. And then if you want to laugh, have Hamber. Look, watch this pathetic damage. Oof. 13.6, 16.4, but Ambush! Yes, it takes not even a third of its health. Yes. Yes, and then you're doing nothing for the rest of the time. I gave it Pestilence because it's got nothing else to work with. Double Sting is just a fish for poison. Yeah. Although, let's see, Duskit. It is weak to mine though, so that's something to note. It could scare out. It could scare out Duskit, I guess, if it's weakened enough. But yeah, this one's really hard to make work. I'd also put it in D tier, just because its moveset sucks. It has neat tools with Ambush, and it could threaten out some of the top tier stuff, and take advantage of that Ambush, but it just doesn't have a moveset. So I put it in D tier. And what else? Oh, okay, yeah. Moving on to Ragoon. Terrible stats. We're just gonna get that out of the way. Its hidden ability is Ability Thief, which is a meme because you take the ability of what you KO. So you essentially have no ability until you get a KO, which is like Ash Greninja, but like you don't get anything good out of it. Yay. It's weak to fire, light, and bug, so weak to light, weak to fire. Oof. Although its ability Burglar is pretty useful. If they're holding an item and you're not, you steal the item. If you're both holding an item, you knock it off. It's a living, breathing knockoff, but with contact moves, by the way. And it gets Quick Pounce, so it does have priority knockoff, essentially. So that's cool. Its pre-evolved form, Kleptyke does get Mega Chomp, which is Crunch, so you'd level Kleptyke up to 28 before you even bother evolving it. Let's get into some calcs, I guess. But other than that, it also gets Provoke, which is Taunt. So what the single niche it has is hi Hamber, you led. I led too, have it provoke, now you can't set a bicycle trap, and now I go out into something that can kill you and it scares you out, and you get to keep Icicle Trap off the field for a few more turns before it inevitably comes in on something it can wall and set it back up. Or just set it up. But what, it beats Luxor? No, it doesn't. It gets outsped by Luxor. How much does it do to Luxor? Let's see, it doesn't even OHKO and gets bodied. Oof. It could just Luminous Roar. It doesn't even have to take the recoil to kill you. Umbrat's a stall war, because you can't touch each other. Can't touch Vesperatu. Oh god, you can't touch Vesperatu. Yeah, it just has poor matchups. I'd put it in D tier 2. I'll probably make my own little, like, an image of the tier list I have in my head and throw it at the end of the video. But yeah, Ragoon's just not good. Now we got Borok, the thing I forgot about at the beginning. So I've got a lot of calcs to show off, I guess. It's got good. It's tied for the second highest attack stat in the game with Vesperatu, but Vesperatu pretty much needs to run Nimble if it doesn't want to get KO'd by Luxor immediately, at least, without doing something. And it has a great ability, my favorite ability right now, Boast. If your attack stat is higher than the opponent's, increase your attack stat by 1 stage. If it's equal or lower, it will decrease your attack. So it's a completely logical ability, and it's great for it right now because it's got the second highest attack stat right now. A brawny Borok will lose attack no matter what against a nimble Tataab if it's got max attack, because it has 1 point higher in attack and equal attack at level 50. So it loses. Yeah, don't bother trying to get it on Tataab, but everything else you can have a good shot at it. But it gets Earth Stab. It's not great Earth Stab, but it gets it. Body Slam for it does, like, on average about 2-3% less than Muckbuck, but it doesn't take recoil damage from it, so that's good. Chomp, I guess, and you could try Quicksand just to get the damage over time, but other than that, it doesn't really. Its 4th move is it doesn't really have much of anything. If you hear something scraping in the background, that's my cat outside my room begging to get in. Oof. Anyway, let's pull up Borok in the calc. First of all, I don't even need to pull up Hamber, you already know it's getting walled. But Searnight, why not? Let's put up the Boast. Hey boys, it's a clean one-shot. So, and this EV spread is to beat out this EV spread. This specific EV spread beats out this specific EV spread at level 50 as well. So, and the rest is just throwing melee defense, but though, if you were to make this set right now, it would have to be HP instead of defense, because you can't train defense by itself at the moment. But yeah, there's that. Luminami, I believe it loses just straight up to Luminami. You can't really do much of anything. Even boosted, like turn off boast does nothing. Turn on boast, it still does nothing. Although I guess, like I said, you could quicksand on the switch and, you know, do some more damage. And everything's a 3-hit KO at that point, and you don't even need to muck buck, so you can just body slam or chomp. Well, chomp technically would be better here. Get one higher damage roll and could flinch, so there you go. So it could, under the right circumstances, not really. If you could flinch out Luminami, there's that. It loses to Tataab, so not even gonna bother with him. Although, just for GP, let's show off Tataab. Yeah, it'll destroy your very existence, and your attack set is gone. Like yeah, don't send it in raw versus Tataab. You're gonna lose attack, and you have a losing matchup as it is. What else? Oh yeah, Zulong. I forgot to check how much it takes from Ancient or Elemental Burst. So I guess since you can't get the defense right now, you could put that 148 special defense and take a hit if you want to play it like that, and then you get your KO. Get your KO like that. So that's something you can try. Valkyrie, I believe, is the same. It would work better to have the special defense here. Take less from Gamma Pulse. I'll go back with Muckbuck. So this is all assuming you come in after something dies and get an attack boost, by the way. This is always assuming you have an attack boost, since most of the time it's going to have an attack boost. Luxor, I'm not too sure. 2-hit KO, you get 2-hit KO, that's unfortunate. So, Luxor's not a good matchup for you. And it's one of the few things that loses to all of the bugs. And Umbrat also 2-hit KOs you. And you don't even 2-hit KO it unless you have Icicle Trap. But yeah, Borok's alright. It's like not super amazing, but it's alright. Oh wait, Avitross. Where you at? Where you at? You could 2-hit KO with Body Slam. And you can't 2-hit KO you, so there you go. Anyway, so Borok's not bad. I'd put him mid-low B tier. He's alright, but he's slow and he's easy to take advantage of. Anyway, and to wrap things up, we got Duskit. Slightly overrated in my opinion, but that's because it's a mythical and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, legendary, it's the best thing in the game. No, not really. But it's quad weak to Spirit, so like I said earlier, it's susceptible to Bestraat Shadow Sprint, so that's a thing. It's weak to Ancient, so Zulong kind of like, hey, hi, my name's Zulong, goodbye. But it's immune to Brawler, so Tataab kind of struggles with it. But it's a setup sweeper. It's got Calm Mind, with a Peace of Mind, just Calm Mind. Spectral Burst, Brainwash, I guess, and Final Ruse. Currently, at the time of this recording, Final Ruse is glitched in that you can use Final Ruse and then just stall with Wait and Rest until you faint, and it'll KO the attacker. Because the game doesn't count you as taking an action after Final Ruse if you use Rest and Wait. So you can bring your Duskit down, it can be brought down to low, and you use Final Ruse, and then you just sit there and you wait and rest until either A, something uses a pure status move, aka Swelter using poison, and then you attack it, or B, something kills you and you get it and it dies. So kind of unfair, needs fixed. Okay, thanks. But yeah, Final Ruse there as a filler, really. But it's not a bad option either. So let's pull up Duskit. Let's pull up Hamber. I have 100 energy on this, but I'm gonna move to HP because not future proofing. Need to talk about the now. He can 2-hit KO you with Yeti's Wrath, and you really don't do much at all. Now, its hit ability is available, but it's really hard to get and really niche. Like, you can't really get it working because it doesn't get a sleep move, but its ability, Mean Spirited, gives you a 50% damage increase on anything that's asleep. So, yeah, just to show you how bonkers that could possibly be. Mean Spirited, suddenly you're doing that much. You'd be like, oh, that's still not that much. But then you do this, and suddenly everything's 2-hit KO'd. Because Oppress is Hex from Pokemon, and if they have a status condition, the power is doubled. So you get double power with an extra 1.5 power because of your ability. And suddenly everything's dropping, and that's before you set up. Get up to +2, and goodbye Hamber. But we're gonna get rid of that ability because that's not what we're doing right now, because it can't reliably do that. Anyway, we're talking about Duskit as it is, with what it can do right now. So it can't really hurt Hamber all that well, although if you let it set up too much, it will start hurting a lot more. Surprising, right? Searnight. The thing with Duskit is you gotta find the right thing to set up on. So like something like Tataab, the only thing it can hit you with is plant moves, but those are also ranged, so Peace of Mind increases your range defense. So if you see a Tataab out, you do outspeed it, and Spectral Burst is already super effective, so that's something that Tataab's going to be aware of, and it's going to want to switch out, so that'll get you free setup. But you do need to be wary of Vesperatu, like I said. Shadow Sprint will ruin your whole plans, but once you get going, it's hard to stop you unless it's a light type. I forgot, Brainwash doesn't do much of anything, it's 50 power, so even at +1. Although, I guess, well, if you do get set, you know what, never mind. If you do get set up, you can just set up again in its face, and then suddenly Luxor can't really do much to you. And then at some point, you're going to be able to KO. So, the light types aren't too hard to deal with, I guess. Like, if you can get set up enough, the light types can be beaten with Brainwash, but it's hard to get to that point. The item I would totally run on this is Leftovers, because it'll be able to force switches, and then, you know, it'll be harder to kill as time goes on because you're setting up more and more and more. And of course, you know, Last Ditch Effort Final Ruse, so it can deal some good damage. It does have its answers, and it does have its ins and outs. So I put it A tier, right under Searnight, Luminami, interchangeable with Tataab. But yeah, that's all of them, I believe. Yep. So yeah. There's my full analysis. It only took an hour and 40 minutes, but there we go. Okay, so I forgot to record my final thoughts on the mechanical feel of Loomian Legacy, so meh, I don't really care how this flows into the video, but I personally feel that the game, the type chart doesn't have enough resistances. Something that was really nice in Pokemon was that there were plenty of things that resisted stuff, so you could use a plethora of different Pokemon to stop certain threats, because, you know, a lot of types shared a common resistance, but that's not really present in Loomian Legacy. Most of the type chart is neutral damage, so that makes it really hard well, at the moment you wouldn't believe it because the meta will be chipping down walls, but once we get more offensive things down the line, it's going to be really hard to stop them because there's just not enough resistances. You'll have your base offensive threat. Oh, here. Now I have a hand on the screen. You have your base offensive threat. You'll have 1 or 2 Loomians that can stop it, and then the other members of the team are things that stop the specific thing. And you can't really do anything about it because only those Loomians can handle X offensive threat. So I'm hoping more resistances are added in the future to build off of that. Bug, I believe, is the worst typing of the game right now because it lost any niche it had from Pokemon. In Pokemon, it was weak to the stealth. It was weak to stealth rocks, yes, which made it, you know, a rough typing to run. But it had the nice little bonus of resisting 2 of some of the most offensive typings in the game, being fighting and ground. And well, fighting, well, Brawler and Loomian Legacy got nerfed, so it's not really all that offensive. It's only good against what, Dark and no, not Dark. What, Bug and what? It's only good against 2 things. What else is it good against? Ice, duh, my bad. But it's only good against Ice and Bug, so it's really not all that offensive. But and it's weak to Ice. It's weak to what? Air. It's weak to. Oh man, I really need to get. Oh, and yeah, Brawler. My bad. It's weak to Brawler. So it doesn't have that niche of resisting anything offensive, you know, the core offensive typing. So and then this also ties in with Dark and Light. They're obviously supposed to be like yin and yang, yet it's clear which type is better here. Light, it's only weak to 2 things, and it has an immunity, while Dark is weak to 3 things and has no immunity. Sure, it has a resistance, but it's not immune to anything like Light is, which makes Light so much more spammable. And add in the fact that Light has no resistances that also deal super effective damage back, and you can just see that Light is clearly an unbalanced type, and it needs something. So like you could, like in this instance, Light seems to be a really good offensive typing because it's so spammable. So stick a resistance onto Bug, and make Bug hit it back for super effective damage, and you've partially fixed both types at once. So, Bug retains that niche of being able to resist something really threatening, which would give it a use outside, give it a use despite Icicle Trap hurting it a lot, so. Then we got Fire, who's pointlessly weak to fire, or Dark, who's pointlessly weak to fire because roundabout logic. I mean, in Edge you can give Dark over Light is, less weaknesses. Light has 2 weaknesses, so just take away the fire weakness, and it's not like it hurts fire at all. It still beats what plant, ice, and metal. It still has 3 strengths. Plant, it's a decent typing. So, but then ice and metal being one of the more surprisingly offensive typings in this game, and ice being really big too. So it doesn't really hurt fire to remove that weakness or remove that advantage over Dark, and it just improves Dark as a typing overall. So yeah, that's how I feel about them. The game just needs more resistances in general. Light, Dark, and Bug. Those were some of my suggestions to fix those types. The Dark is more of a, have it actually be the yang to the yin of Light, and then Light just needs nerfed in some way because it's just too good right now, and then Bug obviously needs buffed. Anyway, I have no idea where I put this in the video, so back to whatever I was saying. Well, not really that long, because I did Yeah, there was some beginning things I'm probably gonna edit out. So like a minute, an hour and 38 minutes. Sure, we'll go with that. But here's an image. What, here somewhere. It's gonna have an image of my personal tier list. And yeah, I'm definitely splitting this into parts, 3 or 4 parts. So hopefully y'all enjoyed. Those are my thoughts. Y'all asked for them. And yeah, obviously everything's going to be flipped on its head when PvP comes out, because we're going to get more items to work with. All of this was done without any kind of like offensive items, so Hamber's not going to be the end-all be-all wall that can't be killed. Because offensive items will push a lot of things over the edge to 2 KO reliably. So anyway, I'm out of here. Yeah.